Lauren Boebert has joined the ranks of MAGA people being upset with Trump for different reasons. Hers is more of a for thee, but not for me, you know? Trump has been doing a lot of retribution, punishing people who didn't vote for him, cutting off funds to projects if it was a Biden project or if it's going to an area that didn't vote for him. Now that's impacting him. And so, or her, excuse me, Lauren Boebert. And so now she's upset. I'll show you the video she posted in a second where she calls him out. But first, Lauren Boebert issued a pointed rebuke to President Donald Trump for using the first veto of his second term to kill a long-delayed water infrastructure project serving her Colorado district that she had sponsored. The veto halted bipartisan legislation that would have extended federal backing for the Arkansas Valley Conduit, a pipeline project designed to bring municipal and industrial water to several communities. So, a water infrastructure project, it was going to benefit her district, then he vetoed it. So, she posts this video, upset. Actually, in her Twitter feed, she said, "This won't be the end," or something like that. This isn't over. All right, Lauren, chill. So then she dropped the real bomb, this video. Please do click the subscribe button as you watch it. If you appreciate what we do, all you have to do is look below the video. There will be a little thing. You click it, and then you subscribe, and then we are happy, and it is free.
You look at other things like Tina Peters or even the sanctuary policies in Colorado. Certainly, I think there are some things where there should be accountability held, especially when you look at the sanctuary measures in Denver and other places, especially Denver, where they've doubled down on sanctuary policies. But we're talking about Southeast Colorado, who's overwhelmingly voted for President Trump in the last 3 elections. And these are not the people that should be attacked. We've lost Space Command.
So Democrats who need clean water should?
If he wants to go after Boulder and some client activists with some of our weather systems there, sure, we can reduce the size. But this is, again, non-controversial. This is providing access to clean water. You look.
Did you hear what she just said? First of all, yeah, call Trump out for this. Of course, that was dumb. And you see how it feels when it impacts you? Biden never did that. Actually, for all Biden's issues, like how he dares to be on vacation now that he's retired, Biden actually flooded more resources to rural red areas because often they have a lot more needs, and really helped out areas that didn't vote for him. So the opposite of trying to punish areas that didn't vote for you. And you're seeing how it feels when it actually impacts you. You can't be cutting off crucial funds to programs just because you believe it's a blue area. First of all, every blue area still has some Trump voters in it, if that's the way you have to articulate it. And you shouldn't be governing that way. You're supposed to be a president for all Americans. And then she goes, all right, if you want to cut off funds to some weather service, fine. But not this. It's like, weather service? That's so important. Cutting that off could mean, as we've seen, mass tragedies where people don't get the proper warnings and evacuations. And so obviously there's Boebert. She's upset with him doing that. I saw that Kyle Clark posted that clip saying Lauren Boebert's okay with Trump punishing Colorado over immigration. Climate researcher Tina Peters, just not her district. These are not the people who should be attacked, she said. Now, obviously, Boebert is not fully going against Trump like Marjorie Greene has. And the fallout of Marjorie Greene's New York Times profile where she says Trump's not a real Christian, he doesn't have any faith, these White House officials and Republicans wanted me to get back in the kitchen and cook for them and stay in my box, and that, Trump called her trying to cover up the Epstein files, and that he didn't care when she got death threats, right? All these insane bombshells. One of Trump's biggest supporters and Marjorie Greene's nemesis, Laura Loomer, responded to that article, and one of the anecdotes being Greene thinking that Mar-a-Lago, that women in the Mar-a-Lago orbit are sexualized, or they sexualize themselves. The bitter feud between two MAGA queens intensified after Green slammed the sexualization of women at Trump's Mar-a-Lago club. And in response to Marjorie saying that, Laura Loomer says the woman who, this is her quote, whored herself out and cheated on her own husband, Perry, with some guys from her gym. Guys. Also, now that's a CrossFit class. Also, what does she mean by sexualization? Let me remind Representative Green of this video of her sexually molesting a cardboard cutout of President Trump. MTG's a total fraud. Let's watch the video.
He's fantastic. This guy right here is great. Standing up in there in the mucky swamp. Diane always has him in the mucky swamp. Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah, so podcast listeners, the video is of a poster of Trump and Marjorie Greene's kind of rubbing on where the crotch would be. I don't think you can molest an inanimate object. Can you? I got this thing. This is Putin with a pin in his butt. Can you? Can you molest an inanimate object? Laura Loomer said she molested Trump's cardboard cutout. Who's gonna press charges? The cardboard factory? And CIA conducted Venezuela drone strike and first known attack on country's territory. So that happened. You know, that's really the moment that we're in where it's like, oh yeah. Going to war with Venezuela. Okay, what about the cardboard cutout being molested? Let's go back to that, right? So Tommy Vietor said, I'm confused how this isn't the biggest story. The biggest story in the world right now. Trump has launched a regime change war in Venezuela. He and Marco Rubio are lying and pretending it's about fentanyl, but it's really about oil.
Bless you.
We've seen this movie before, and it ends badly. Yeah, this is incredibly dangerous and scary. The CIA is said to have conducted a drone strike on a port in Venezuela last week, the first known land strike. And it wasn't even a big news item. That's what's weird. It wasn't even a big news item. We're all just so dang numb. Similarly, I saw this headline. Ex-Scientologist Leah Remini sounds alarm over religion's infiltration of Trump administration. And I couldn't even read the article. I was like, I don't know. I just don't know. We literally have this guy who said he has a Nazi streak getting a new job at the General Services Administration. You said you have a Nazi streak, and then now Paul Ingrassia. Why do the Nazi streak people never look like what Nazis want everyone to look like? It doesn't make any sense. Nick Fuentes, Paul Ingrassia. Fuentes is, I think, of some Hispanic background, and then they're like, yeah, only white people and pure white. Very weird. But anyways, he didn't get kicked out of the administration. He got another job. So it's tough to stay focused, even though this sounds interesting. And it's one of those where I would have to go learn about Scientology first, because I know Tom Cruise. You know how if you ask me, Luke, what do you know about Christianity in general? I would say Jesus, Mary, Noah's Ark, Moses. I know things. I grew up in that. I know. Or you could say, what about another one? And I could tell you a bunch too. But you ask me, what do you know about Scientology? It would be like, cult maybe, right? Tom Cruise, weird. They harass you if you leave. But I'm sure it's concerning because the Scientology, I've heard bad things is my point. I've heard bad things. They like science. I don't know. No, not really. That was so dumb. But yeah, I mean, that's crazy. Maybe this is another group that's infiltrating. Actor and ex-Scientologist Leah Remini said it was very scary to see President Trump surrounded by a number of Scientologists recently. So that is what it is. I just don't know enough to speak much on it. But now we'll move forward.